Hello everybody, welcome back to Hearthstone. I have another lovely gimmick deck for you today. It is Buffy the Bad Guy Slayer. You see, because it's a paladin buff deck. And two things, number one, Buffy the Bad Guy Slayer. I know it's a stupid name, but originally I was just going to call it something like Buff's Baby. But then I happened to be watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer and I was like, wait a moment. Why wouldn't I take this opportunity? So that's why it's called that. I will accept no criticism, even though I just criticized it. But the second thing is you're probably thinking, oh, Tom, really? A paladin buff deck? Everybody's done one of those. Everybody's tried one of those. And yes, you are probably right. I haven't done the necessary legwork. But I just went through the cards one day and I was like, there are so many paladin cards that would count as buffs that I cannot resist doing this. So here we are, especially with, I actually waited for this to come out and that's absolutely dandy. Right. I'll go through it quickly as usual, and then we'll get to work on it. First up, we have Avenge, 1-cost secret. When one of your minions dies, give a random friendly minion +3/+2. That's actually a really, really good card, because it will only trigger if you have another friendly minion, and it makes anything a lot better. So even if you have just one of the Paladin token 1/1 guys, it will make it into a 4/3. It's a really, really handy card to have. Blessing of Might, 1-cost, give a minion +3 attack. Again, that's a good card because you can turn things. You can turn the 1/1 guys into a 4/1, or you can turn other things into big things. So that's good if you need something weak to kill something strong, or if you just want to give something a bit of extra punch. So that's also a pretty solid card generally. We've got two of each of those. We've got one Blessing of Wisdom. Choose a minion whenever it attacks, draw a card. That's in there because it is a buff. You are technically buffing it. You're not buffing the minion's stats, and that's why there's only one of them in here, because it is a buff and it benefits me, but I would count it as buff even though I'm not actually buffing their stats. But that's pretty good. If you can either do it on one of your own minions to obviously get some additional value out of that, or you can do it on a strong enemy minion because chances are good they won't want to keep giving you cards. So that can often just take a stronger minion out of the game for your enemy. So that's good. We've got two Hands of Protection in here, one of which is all shiny and gold and animated. Give a minion Divine Shield. Not much to say on that. A Divine Shield definitely counts as a buff in my books. And yeah, nice and simple. Originally there was only one in this deck, and I actually had a Lay on Hands down here, which is an 8-cost, restore 8 health and draw 3 cards, but I removed that because I couldn't actually justify that being in here, because I could not classify a heal as a buff. I just couldn't justify that, so that came out. We had another Hand of Protection thrown in. Young Priestess, 2/1 for 1. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1 health. A very weak creature, but the +1 health to another friendly minion is handy at times, and of course it fits this buff deck very nicely. 2 Argent Protectors, again, one is all gold and shiny and animated. Give a friendly minion Divine Shield, a 2/2 for 2. That's good. That's a generally solid minion. You often see that in kind of mid-range Paladin decks, because it's like Hand of Protection, but it costs 1 more. But you also get a 2/2 on the field. So it's actually considerably better value than Hand of Protection, in my opinion. But, yeah, we can potentially give 4 things Divine Shields, or give something a Divine Shield 4 times, so that's good. Master Swordsmith, yet another shiny gold animated card. A 1/3 for 2, not great, but at the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1 attack, rather. +2 attack would be insane. But no, give a random friendly minion +1 attack. Again, it's not a great card, generally speaking, but it's perfect for this deck. And I will say, if you throw out a Young Priestess on turn 1 and a Master Swordsmith on turn 2, at the end of turn 2, you have a 3/1 and a 1/4, which I know doesn't sound great, but it can just lead to some really interesting stat lineups when you have these. And I mean, if you throw down 2 Young Priestesses, you've suddenly got, like, if you're on turn 1 and you Young Priestess, coin Young Priestess, you got 2 2/2s on turn 1, which is nuts. But yeah, so you have lots of those. They're very useful. The Sword of Justice, aka the Paladin weapon that should never be used as a weapon unless you have no other choice. A 1/5 weapon for 3, not great, but whenever you summon a minion, give it +1/+1 and it loses its durability. That's insanely good, because it's whenever you summon anything, including your little Paladin ability token 1/1 guys. I can't remember the name now. I've forgotten the name of the actual unit, never mind. So yeah, a Sword of Justice is really quite a powerful card. And obviously, it's a buff. It fits with this deck simply beautifully. And it can just make the smaller minions you play a lot harder to deal with. So we've got 2 of those. We've got 2 raid leaders. Your other minions have +1 attack, 2/2 for 3. Not much to be said. It's good if you got a lot of stuff out. If you don't, it's not very good at all. But it's definitely a buff, and it's a consistent buff, so it's in the deck. Now here's where it gets interesting. We got a Shade of Naxxramas, a 2/2 for 3 with stealth. At the start of your turn, gain +1/+1. This is an interesting card because you won't play it. You can't do anything with it on the turn you play it, of course, because it's got the fatigue, so you can't actually attack with it. So it will come out on your next turn as a 3/3, assuming the enemy doesn't kill it with board clear, because they need some kind of area of effect because it has stealth. Now, you can either bring it out then, or you can wait for it to get even bigger and just keep it stealth. I once had one of these at 18-16, I think, when playing with this deck. In fact, it was my second game with this deck. I had a Shade of Naxxramas at 18-16 when I uncloaked it. Unfortunately, the downside of that is I had put all my stuff into the Shade, into just buffing him, so the opponent had an incredibly strong board and he just finished me off. So it's not a very good tactic, but it is fun, and I'm glad I did it, and I might do it again if the opportunity arises. So yeah, Shade of Naxxramas. It's a very slow card. There is no denying that, but it's in my opinion, it's quite a strong one. It's because once it gets, once its health buffs over a few turns, then it's basically impossible to kill while it's stealth, because there's only so much damage that can be done with area of effects. So that's pretty good in my opinion. Shattered Sun Cleric, 2 of those, 3/2 for 3. That's not great, but Battlecry give a friendly minion +1, so that is pretty good. Again, it's a buff. It's a decent minion all round. There was no reason it wasn't coming in this deck. Blessing of Kings, give a minion +4/+4 for 4. This is a ludicrously powerful card, but it is also, the cost is quite high in terms of, I know 4 mana doesn't seem like a lot, but to play 4 mana and not play a minion or remove a minion, it is actually quite substantial. But the +4/+4 turns just about anything into something scary. Again, it'll turn a 1/1 into a 5/5, which is not to be sniffed at. So Blessing of Kings, the mother of all Paladin buff cards, how could that not be in here? Defender of Argus, give adjacent minions +1/+1 and taunt. Not much to say on that. It's 2/3 for 4. Again, a really solid card. The +1/+1 is obviously the buff, so that's why it's in here. That's great. 2 Blessed Champions, double a minion's attack. This is not a great card, generally speaking, because it doubles a minion's attack for 5. So that's a lot of mana for that. And obviously, if you have, say, a Master Swordsmith on the board, or a 1/1 or what have you, it'll double it to 2, which is shite. Or an Eldritch Protector or Young Priestess doubles it to 4. It's not good. Not good at all. However, if you have, say, a Stormwind Champion, it could double it to 12. Or Gruul, it could double it to 8. Well, sorry, double from 8 to 16, but we'll get to Gruul in a moment. So, Blessed Champion can be really useful, but that's another thing as well. If you can also, with this deck, normally it would be not as good, but in this deck it is a bit better because you can then buff it with something else. So if you've got 6 mana, you can Blessing of Might, give it +3/+3, get it +3 attack, then double that. So then you've got at least 6 more attack, more if it already had an attack, and I think everything in here does actually have an attack. I have no 0 attack minions. So it works pretty well in this deck. Then we got 2 Stormwind Champions. 6/6 for 7, your other minions have +1/+1. The granddaddy of buffs, there's not much to say about this either. It's generally an okay card. The mana cost is quite high, but it is situational in that if you don't really have a strong board, it's not very efficient. But if you do have things on the board, it's brilliant, because it can really beef those up. And then finally, we have Gruul, the only legendary in this deck. I have no idea what the fuck he is. Like, genuinely, I have absolutely no idea what... I will have to look it up on a wiki at some point, because was he some kind of troll? I have no idea. But at the end of each turn, gain +1/+1, a 7/7 for 8. Now, I'll be honest, I've never actually played Gruul with this deck. I've used this deck in quite a few games, and I have never actually got the chance to play him. I've not drawn him once. So maybe he's a bit shy, and he'll hopefully make an appearance throughout this. But yeah, Gruul is generally not considered a good card, because it's quite slow, and it is very, very prone to removal. Things like, Polymorph, Hex, that sort of thing. Because it is a target that keeps getting bigger. And by that point in the game, chances are good you're either winning or losing so much that he won't help you anyway. But he's in here because he buffs himself. So how could I not put him in here? So that is the deck. The mana curve, as you can see, is all over the place. There's barely any late game things. But the good thing is all the buffs mean you can turn early things into things that can last the late game. The deck is surprisingly okay. I've actually done rather well with it, which is kind of ridiculous, but there's no denying, even though it's got a bunch of bad cards in here, there's no denying that it is pretty damn effective. So that being said, let's go for it and see how it does, shall we? Once we get through this, of course. There we go. Okay, so we'll just, where am I? There we are, down there. Lovely. So, I look forward to seeing who I come up against, because this deck does have its advantages and disadvantages against the various classes, of course. Like, I have found mages in particular to be a right pain in the shoe most of the time. But they have so much removal that even if you so good, they'll be able to remove it quite easily. Which is fairly irritating, to say the least. Cheetah McCheetahson, excellent. Okay, it's a shaman. That's okay. He's probably got Earthshock. Most shamans do. So Earthshock is quite bad for this deck because it can silence my buffs. I think we'll throw the Shade. We'll keep the Sword. And we'll keep these two because I can Young Priestess. I could coin out Avenge, but there's really no point in doing so. But I can throw out the Young Priestess at least by herself. I normally don't like throwing out Young Priestess by herself because she's obviously a 2-1. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. She wouldn't buff anything else, so ideally I would like to play something else over her. I mean, I could always just play Avenge ahead of time, and then it won't go off until I have 2 minions on the field, so... and one of them dies, of course. So I might actually just play Avenge rather than the Priestess, and then I could coin into the Sword of Justice, or I could just play one of these guys. Silverhand Recruit, that was their name. That was the name of them.
Need a blessing?
Oh, he's got a Young Priestess. Lovely. Hello. Now, if I play mine, he'd actually be at an advantage, so I will just Avenge here. Because he'd be able to play another minion, get a buff, and then... yeah, basically have a stronger board, so... I mean, he has a stronger... oh, balls. He has a stronger board anyway, because he's now got that, and that's really bad for me, actually, because this deck has no sodding removal whatsoever, because why would it? It's a buff deck, and if I play this, he runs it in, and it gets +3 attack, and then it's a 5-5, because it'll buff that, or it'll be a 5-4, to take damage. So I actually don't want to play any of these. I'll coin out the Sword of Justice, and I will actually kill that with it. I know I said you shouldn't generally use this as a weapon, and that is true. But yeah, sometimes if you're killing one health minion like that, it's acceptable. And especially when you're facing off against this sort of situation. Farsight. I have never actually seen anyone play Farsight. That's really weird. Oh. I wonder what he'll get. I get something that can kill that fucker. Okay, I didn't, but what I can do is I can play Young Priestess, Master Swordsmith. The Master Swordsmith will then be a 1-4. The Young Priestess will then be a 3-1. Oh no, of course, I forgot about the buffs. So that's actually now a 3-2, and that is a 2-4. So that will be a 4-2, and that will be a 3-5. So actually, this puts me in a considerably better position for dealing with that Armani Berserker. I mean, if he's smart, he will probably run it into the 2-5, so it enrages, and he will then definitely get another trade off it. But he might run it into the 4-2 to save himself some trouble. Ah, yes, there goes the 4-2. That's not so good. Oh dear. Oh yes, of course, I forgot about that. Haha! Don't have Earthshock. Oh, Iron Beak Cowl is actually exactly the same. Oh, balls. Double balls. Double a minion's attack. Haha. Very unhelpful. Very unhelpful. Oh, this is bad. Okay, well I'm not going to swing for that because I'd rather save this charge for a buff. That Armani Berserker is going to really fucking hurt. This is about to get incredibly painful. And I've still got, because I got 2 7s and an 8 in my hand. That's no good for me. That is just terrible for me right now. God. Oh my god. And the healing totem as well. I'm pretty much done for, I think it is safe to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play him first so he gets the buff. I'm then going to play one of them. And we're going to see what can be done about this. Currently, nothing. I have a feeling this game is going to end in an embarrassing defeat. It's this terrible opening hand. I'll be honest. Like, I had these guys in the first few turns. That's just utterly, utterly dreadful hand. I've got none of the buffs that I could have used that would have really helped me. The Sword of Justice was okay, but it didn't do enough because he had his removal. So I'm quite concerned now that even if I can get rid of that Armani Berserker, I'll be so far behind by that point, it won't make a blind bit of difference. And you can keep running that thing into my 1/1s because the healing totem, this bastard will just keep restoring them. Good lord! This situation is terrible. And this is now 4/4, but I can't get through that damn taunt. Although... yeah, alright, let's do that.
Reporting for duty. My shield for Argus.
That keeps some damage off my face, and I now have a 5/5 taunt here. Plus a 2/2 taunt, of course. Which at least means he'll probably trade the Berserker into that, or he might, rather than kill off both the Yeti and his Unbound Elemental. Don't have a silence, you dickhead. God damn. Really? 2 Iron Decals? Can't possibly have one. Holy shit, he had lethal! Oh my god. Well, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Wow. I don't even know what kind of deck that was. That was horrible. Good lord. Okay, not an auspicious start. Let's go again. Wow, that really hurt. Hopefully I'll get some better early draws this time, because the Young Priestess and the other guy, Master Swordsmith, they were okay. Berserker, they didn't stand a chance. A Blessing of Might would really have helped me there, I won't lie, but alas, it did not. Although, would it? Because he was trading out my things so damn efficiently. Okay, a priest. Good. They never have any silence whatsoever. God damn it. Right, we'll chuck Gruul, we'll chuck the Blessed Champion. The raid leader is generally more useful later, but we will keep it, so we actually have a turn 3 play if we need one. 2 Defenders of Argus. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is bad. Oh, he's got the new card back. I forgot to switch that on mine. Oh, I'll switch that. Mid-game. I don't think I can do it mid-game. Okay, so he's thrown out a Zombie Chow, so that's bad for me. Because that's an incredibly strong opening. I'm actually tempted to coin one of these Swordsmith, but no, I think I'll just take 2 damage. And can I can change my card back in here. Excellent. Just an Ice Crown. Lovely. There we go. Look at that. I wonder if that just changed mid-game for him. Interesting if it did. Oh, okay. Coin Shade of Naxxramas. Definitely. Because that will trade with this guy, and then that leaves me in a pretty decent spot. So this will then be a 3/3, which can kill a 3/2 obviously, and I can buff it with my Shattered Sun Cleric. And the good thing is, when this dies, it will heal me up back to full health, so that's nice. So I could play one of the raid leaders, but I would play the Shattered Sun. It's just generally a better card, and it also gives him another health. So that's now a 4/2 and a 3/2 on the board on turn 3. That's actually a really, really strong opening right there. That's a lot better than not having that opening. That's fairly annoying. I can obviously kill it, but oh. See, I was going to Defender of Argus or maybe even Master Swordsmith, one of these guys, but if I Blessing of Kings that, it's a 9/7 this turn. My math skills suddenly left me. It's a 9/7. I could trade it into that, and then it's just going to be such a pain in his ass. Or I could go for a bit of a safer play and just kill it, and then I still have this and that as a taunt. Yeah, I think I will. Will I? Oh, the choices. No, you know what? I'm going to do it. I could buff that, but this keeps buffing, so I probably should buff that. I'm going to do that because he's going to have to expend considerable resources to kill that Shade of Naxxramas. Because that shit be scary, yo. He does not have considerable resources. A Shadow Word Death will be terrible for me, but I don't think he has one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to Master Swordsmith, Raid Leader, and that's 15 damage on that turn. This is the deck working as intended. This is making up for that terrible start last time. Because unless he's... A Holy Nova would... just... No, it wouldn't even save him, not with what I got in my hand. There we go. Okay, so you did have a way to kill that. That was to be expected. Well, that thing did very, very well. Okay, so I was thinking this and this, but I might do Sword of Justice, Raid Leader instead. What would that get me to? That would get me to 5, 8, 12, plus giving me a 3/3 on the board. Yeah, let's do that. That sets me up better for next time. Then I can use kind of these as a bit more burst. Well, actually, I could use that as more burst, so never mind. Doesn't matter, though, because I'm in such a strong situation now. Unless he has Mass Dispel, which he might, but not many people run that. But if he has Mass Dispel, then ow. But I'll still win, currently. But if he doesn't, I'll be okay.
Embrace the void.
Here comes the Circle of Healing. Oh, the Zombie Chow? Why the hell did you play Zombie Chow first? Maybe you wanted to get it out of the way before I was able to use... No, I have no idea why he played Zombie Chow there. That was really weird. Okay. I see how this is. Just do this. If he has another Circle of Healing, it's gonna hurt, but if he doesn't, I'll be okay. And at least this guy survives. I'd actually rather she buffed him so he would survive a circle as well, but never mind. I really hope he doesn't have another circle healing, because if he does, I've got nothing in hand, pretty much. So that would be rather unfortunate. But that is the only thing I can think of that would save him now, or I suppose possibly a Mass Dispel. A Holy Nova could, but I think Mass Dispel costs more than 3. I don't actually remember how much it costs. 5 cards, 8 mana. He's probably got the mana to do it. Does he have the cards is the question. Though again, if he has a Circle of Healing, then yes. The answer to both of those is yes. Because if he has a Circle of Healing, he can actually kill my board, and then just use that on that, so he doesn't need to trade that in. He doesn't. Tremendous. So I currently have enough to kill him. I still have enough to kill him because of my second Defender of Argus. Haha! Tremendous.
Well
What
played.
good fun.
My shield for Argus. The breeze. It's time.
Victory. Sweet, sweet victory. There we go. Now that is how the deck is meant to work. That's what it's like when everything just goes according to plan. That's excellent. We're doing another one. We're doing another one. Good. So it made up for the first game there, I think. Because the first game it was like, oh no, entirely end game stuff. This game it was like, yay, not end game stuff. Though this is actually something I am noticing. The lack of end game things in this deck doesn't seem to be a problem because I hardly ever get to the end game. I either kill them too quickly, or they kill me too quickly. And I think I know which one of those it's going to be against this guy. I have a feeling this is going to be a kill me too quickly kind of affair. I've gone second every time so far. That's fun. Right. These are all pretty good for me to have, but I'm going to throw the Blessing. I will keep the Argent Protector and just hope I get another 1 or 2 drop. A different 1 drop was what I meant, but never mind. So I got nothing really the first 2 turns. Okay, and he comes straight out with a fucking Timberwolf. So yeah, I got nothing the first 2 turns really. So next turn I'll probably coin out Shade, unless he's played loads of shit that I need to deal with. Oh dear. That's actually a really strong opening for a hunter. You don't often see experienced people play Timberwolf on turn 1. So, that's fun. So we'll Shade of Naxxramas. Next turn we can Shattered Sun or Raid Leader. Shattered Sun again is the better option. Or we could Argent Protector, run it into the 3/3, Hand of Protection it. Can't target him, he's stealthed. Can you silence a stealthed minion? I actually don't know.
To my side.
Don't be the 4/4 with Taunt. That's also... They were all bad for me, let's be honest. Every one of those was fucking bad for me right there. Ooh, Nelly, that's not good. Right. So Shattered Sun kills that, so I will actually... do I play this or do I Hand of Protection Guy? I will... no, I'll Hand of Protection Guy, because this will just die to that currently anyway, so it barely makes a dent on that, so we will do it like this. Here we are. And he can kill my Shade of Naxxramas with Leok, unfortunately. But such is the way of things. Or he can do that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Strong opening for him, I gotta say. Strong opening. So we'll do that, we'll do that. This way I can kill the Timberwolf with the 1-1. And if my 2-2 survives, I can buff it. Not really enough to kill Leok. I could Blessed Champion it, but I really don't want to. Oh lord, that's basically a Yeti with charge he just played. Fucking hell. The pain. It's turn 5 and I'm on 12 health. This guy knows how to do his rush. Let's get rid of that to lower the attacks a bit. Jesus. Okay, not many options. I think Master Swordsmith Shattered Sun or Master Swordsmith... This dies regardless of Shattered Sun. So Master Swordsmith Raid Leader. Because this way my things have a bit more attack and are therefore a little harder to deal with. Can we stabilize from this position? I do have the Defender of Argus, which can help keep stuff... If any of my shit survives next turn, I will play the Defender of Argus probably, because I want to keep some of this damage off my face. Because currently, if he hero abilities me each turn, I die in 6 turns. But that's not counting the damage, so actually I'll die in like 3 at this rate. Oh lord, or I'm dead. Of course, I forgot about the damn Rhino. Fuck! Wow, so that's two games there where I've just had the crap rushed out of me. Good lord. Wow, okay. By the continuation of trend, I should now get a really good opening hand in this game. Damn, that hurt. That was really nasty, actually. Deck is not showing its full potential. Again, its full potential isn't actually that great, but I believe I described it as surprisingly good rather than good. It's surprisingly good because I expect it to be utter shite. Never mind. We'll do another one and we'll see how we do with that. Hopefully it won't be against somebody who tries to rush me down.
Uther versus Garrosh.
Okie dokie.
I will fight with honor.
I've gone first for once. We'll throw that. And we'll throw that actually, because there's no point having that if we've got nothing to play it on. That's even worse. That is a considerably worse hand. That's... Okay, we'll play that. I'll play that just because then I can chuck out a Silverhand Recruit next turn. And yeah, that way I have a 2-1 and a 1-2. Because if he wants to spend something removing that, I don't mind too much. I prefer if it stayed, but if he wants to waste a good card on it, it's a 2-1, it's puny. Wants to play an Abusive Sergeant. Okay. We'll just play one of those. Run that into the face. And then he will almost certainly run the Abusive Sergeant into the Young Priestess, because that Young Priestess is far more dangerous than the 1-2. Or he might just sit there and consider what is a very obvious and easy option. Hear how hard he considers. If you want to go for the 1-2, by all means go for the 1-2. That puts me in a stronger position. But if you want to be smart, go for the 2-1. Or just go AFK. That'll work too. I'll appreciate an easy victory. Oh, what is this guy doing? I think he has gone AFK, because there's no way that he could just be considering for this long. It's not a difficult turn. Nobody should consider for this long on turn 2. No, he's just... Why the fuck did that take you so long, you bastard? I'm just going to naturally assume that he was being a dick about it rather than he was actually taking a while to consider. That's how you do a turn. You play your card and you finish. You don't sit around for ages waiting. Arsehole. So, Shade of Naxxramas out there. That's a pretty good one for me. Shield blocks, that's fine. Got a coin. What did he draw? Oh, Leponome. Right, well this seems to be fairly aggro deck. Though the shield block does kind of speak against that. But I'm tempted to Blessing of Kings this, run it into his face, because then it's gonna be really hard for him to kill unless he has execute runs when these goes in. So I won't. I'll play it safe. So we'll hit that, and we will. I don't want to Blessing of Kings it because then it will just die to execute. But I also want it to survive hitting this. It won't even if I buff it. So I would have to Blessing of Kings. But then if it executes, I've wasted it. So we'll just do this. And he'll run the 2-1 into the 3-1. Unless he's really, really intent on rushing me down. It's now a 4-1 as well. Hopefully it will survive. If it doesn't, that's not the end of the world. There's no fire or brimstone or viruses or meteors or ice age or anything like that. Or nuclear explosions or... I said meteors, didn't I? Never mind.
What now?
Aliens. Could be aliens. Could just blow the whole thing up like in Spore. It'd be great. It wouldn't be great. It'd be terrible. I live on, you know, the world. I wouldn't like it to be blown up. Again, your choice is not difficult. You kill the 4-1 that continues to get more powerful, you ass. Holy shit, he didn't. Well, oh, he's got Whirlwind as well. Of course he has. Yeah, there we go. That's why he didn't. And now he has a 7 armor, which I can't really get through. And that's definitely not good. Because his shield slams are going to really hurt any of my minions. So, gotta get through that armor. Gotta get through that armor there. Next turn we're looking at Guy, Defender of Argus. Unless we draw something better. Possibly Guy, Blessing of Kings. I think... Okay. Blessing of Kings. Argent Protector on this. Do I want it on the 3-2 or the 2-2? That would become a 6-6. That would become a 7-6. I think I'll do it on the 2-2, just because the 3-2, the 3 can kill more things than the 2. So, yeah.
Not on my watch.
Run that into that. And then we run that into that. There we go. And the good thing is, this isn't damaged, courtesy of the Divine Shield. So, it's not... He would have to do something else to it in order to hit it with Execute. I mean, a Whirlwind would obviously work fine. Inner Rage, Cruel Taskmaster, any of those would be fine. He probably doesn't want to hit it with a weapon, though, because that's... I mean, he could take it. 6 damage, and he's got 7 armor and 28 health, so he probably could take it. For all intents and purposes, he has 35 health. So actually, he could take it with a weapon. But it's still no weapons... Well, no, Gorehal would kill it, but that's... He can't get that for another turn, so... Or he could Heroic Strike and then play, like, a Fiery War Axe. Or an Arathi Weaponsmith. Strike my face? What in the world? Okay, well I'm tempted to Blessed Champion this, or I could Raid Leader, Defender of... Yeah, let's not Blessed Champion. It would give me more burst damage now, but I feel like the stronger play is actually just to buff these things a bit more, so... And I will buff... Do I want to keep that alive? Like, do I want to keep it behind a taunt? Or do I want to... Okay, I'll just buff these. That's an out of Whirlwind range, and the 7-6 is protected. There we go, we got through that armor that was looking kind of daunting. A brawl here would suck, but... Don't think he's got one. Well, that's okay. At least he didn't hit the 5-2. If he hit the 2-2 and the 5-2, I'd have been well pissed off.
Try this.
Okay, he's gonna hit the 3-1 rather than the 5-2, I would think. Yeah, there it is. That's definitely the smarter play for him there. Alright, so what do we got? We got 6, 10, 12. I can double that to 12, which gives me 16, 18... Oh, have I got lethal? I got lethal. Yeah.
Well played.
I think I got lethal anyway. Actually, I've definitely got lethal if I do this.
The sun well.
That's now 14. 14-7. Goodbye, good day, good luck. There we are. The deck is working as intended again. Okay, so we just had alternate winning and losing, but that was nice. That was fun. And yeah, that was good. I'm reasonably pleased with the performance there. I would have been happy with 3 wins, or happy to steal with 4. But yeah, that is Buffy the Bad Guy Slayer. I hope you found that amusing. It's definitely, I think, the most fun out of the decks I've shown so far. It's definitely the most fun to play because you can do some very silly things, but they're not that silly actually. They're straightforward things. Like you expect a paladin to buff, but you don't expect a paladin to have so many buffs. Like where just everything is a buff or buffs itself. So yeah, it's good fun for that. But I hope you've enjoyed that. Keep your eyes peeled. There will be some more coming. I'll do another video or 2 on this deck because, again, lots of fun. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.